we pull back, the further spike and push up. So when we hit that like 554, like 80 area, once we hit that 555, if we can break through that ceiling, we can get back up to those highs that we've been hitting at. But earlier this morning, the market was showing fear. Like when the market opened up at 8:30, it was showing fear. So you saw 8:30, it fell down really hard, pulled back up at 9, and then fell all the way back down to the low of from Friday. And then by the time we hit the afternoon, we were already showing neutral again. And that's just off of the news being good. The news wasn't bad news. There was no reason for the market to react. It was just letting all those other people get their money into the market. We filled a gap from I think Monday or Friday. You have to check how you see it or whatever. I'll have to look at my chart for a second.
Gotcha.
We filled
Joe, you there? You ready? I want to see how that field worked on there too.
Yeah, I'm on the computer.
Okay, all right. Hold on. Let me let you share. What's up, Sebastian?
What up?
I meant to say, hey, my bad.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, earlier. I was doing some trading today. Hold on. But yeah, look at this with SPY. He just pulled back to just below the 50%. So, my bad. Those alerts. I'm an alert and
I like that chart, Joseph. Clean, man. I like it.
yeah, this one is messy. This one is messy. This one I've been trading on, but it's it's not typically this way. It's just been a lot with the market lately.
That's
I
how
could
I
go
feel.
intraday. I could go intraday on this joint, and I'm gonna show you like how these fib was mapping out. I'm trying to see where I got it from, but you can see I got the fib there, JT. I'm telling you, watch this.
Yeah, I see.
Man, I gotta clear some of this out. This is horrible.
You feel like me. I feel like I got too much on my chart right now.
Yo, this joint looks so crazy because I be on my phone. Sometimes I just be having a chart, and then I'll come back to it later.
The thing, as
This
long as
joint,
you understand it, that's what counts, right?
oh,
Because mine's sloppy too.
so look, JT. So you see, I got the bigger time frame range of where we was going overall right here, right?
Mm-hmm.
Look at this.
Oh yeah, that's from the weekend
Yeah,
when you had put it
when
up
we
there.
did it.
Yeah.
Look at this.
So this field that
This
this
is what
you showed us last week. Oh
it,
my bad, Joe.
it got. No, you good, you good. It got completely hung up right there. After it took the whole range from what we talked about, it got completely hung up. It never came back inside of the range that it was in, this range right here. So it never came back inside. So what did it do? It kept rallying.
Mm.
So even on a smaller time frame, like I was doing this on a I was doing it on a 1 minute when I was scalping the range and I couldn't figure out exactly where we was targeting, trying to see where it's at. That's today, just target day. Trying to see where it's at. Okay, right here. This range right here. I was seeing where it was going, where it got hung up at. It just swept this liquidity. Paid the order block perfectly, 50%. Got off. That was today. Let me see something. Let me go to a cleaner chart. I don't like that. But
Yeah, if you don't want to mess your chart up, you can go to MNQ.
that's cool because I'm doing my chart over tonight. That joint is ridiculous. Let's see. Let me see about this current price action right here.
And I think Nina here too. Why you looking at that?
Look at that, JT.
Dang. Oh yeah, that was perfect right
High
there.
to low, and it's telling you where it's going. And this current, this is from today to now on a 5 minute time frame. Literally from the top of the V to the bottom, it's telling you. And then we could zoom in and see what it did when it got to these levels. Resistance, support, resistance, support, support, resistance. It didn't ever break above the 61.8, but it didn't go back into the range either. It's consolidating now. This is the aftermarket for the Asia session going into London later tonight, but you can see where it was going.
Yeah, that's tight. And you like you
high
said,
to
you
low,
started right there from the top of the V with a 0% and pulled it down.
to the bottom, to the low, and then it's telling you where it go. It whipped through there perfectly. And I say this fib is like a dang a market maker inside tool right here. You just grab some liquidity, came right back down. And it's so crazy how accurate this joint is. Like even probably with this one. So,
Yeah.
Because on the ES, we just got above what I got on my 555.25.
see, look, JT, it got to there, wick through it. It didn't go above. It came back below the zero, and then it came back, came right back to the wick, right to almost a 50.
Hmm.
But this joint is crazy. If it come back within the range, it's coming back. If it stays above zero for bullish setups, it's going to continue. If it stays below for bearish, it's going to continue.
Hmm. Yeah, that fib is off the chain. How you come up with that?
I just was back testing stuff. Look at this. It's crazy. But it had bullish points of interest right in here. So this is why it bounced. Okay, it took all of this, it came back inside the range. This is the range, top, the bottom, it came back into the range, but it came right into a fair value gap. Wick out the fair value gap, came back, rallied.
Mm. Oh yeah, too, Joseph. Why you Miss Nina on here now? She wasn't on here last week when you talking about the two types of consolidation that you be looking for.
Yeah, so all right, with this right here, you got a massive drop, a massive drop. You got a massive drop, but it really didn't retrace now. It got in a tight range and it kind of essentially went to the right. So that's a sign of a continuation. There's not much retracement, and from what it did, there's not much retracement in this drop right here. Um, drop to the so see how it dropped into the discount and it never came back out of the discount, like never even came back out of the discount to try to even come back. That was, but this was just grabbing liquidity for the people that miss out. When it came to the low, it really didn't even pick back most of this move right here. So that lets you know it was likely to high probability that's going to continue in that prevailing trend. When you get something like this, you see how you got this drop and then automatically you start getting retracement. Usually you're gonna take this back. Depending, you're gonna take majority of the move back or you're gonna take it all back. So it's like that's not a really good one. This one, okay. You see how this got a drop and then you start getting consolidation that's trending up. It's tight, but it's going up. That's gonna let you know that it's going to take majority of the move back, or if not the whole move. So the certain consolidation is going to be to the right, and it's not going to retrace much of the move that it gave. And that's when you're looking for like a continuation. Then some that's retracing and it's pulling back, you're gonna know that you could possibly take it the opposite way of whichever way that it was going, and it works both ways.
Yeah, another part of that too, Joe, is when you have the wicks. When the wicks form, the large wicks usually
Yeah,
is the reversal pattern. If you don't get the large wicks, you're usually going to get just a regular consolidation leading to continuation.
and the wicks tell you what they want to do. Like if you're getting wicks from coming from the majority of the bottom of the candles, I mean the price want to go up.
Mm-hmm.
If you're getting wicks coming from the majority of the top of the candles and it's consecutive, or if you got there with some power candles, and then all of a sudden, just like this, see all these wicks coming from the top of these pretty decent candles. So even though price is fighting to go up, it wants to go down. So that's where this the manipulation that comes in. That if you get caught up in this, it's either better be quick scalps or you ain't holding on to nothing. And then you wanna go with what the price is telling you, what the trend is telling you. You just got this massive drop, you got a retracement. You got this because you have liquidity in here. And then all it did was take all the liquidity of the previous floor, came right back to the previous floor. That's turned the ceiling now, and then it dropped. Price always going to tell you what they want to do. Just got to be able to understand price or be patient with price.
So Joseph, so like Chris says, like trapping price. Oh, how you doing? I'm sorry. How you
You
doing,
good?
son?
I'm good. And you?
Good. Like trapping price action, like where it's consolidate in a, like he says, in a box. You're saying like if
Mm-hmm.
it's consolidate in that way, then it's oh man, I lost my train of thought. So it that you're saying like it could be consolidation where it's kind of ranging upward or downward, but or also it could be the consolidation that Chris speaks about where he's like trapping it where it's like going sideways. Is
Mm-hmm.
that
Yeah,
okay?
and usually when it's going sideways, like Chris indicates, it's a bigger move coming.
Yep.
Okay. 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 Thank you.
No problem.
Love sideways.
Yeah.
Give me triple inside days or weeks. Give me
Seen
triple.
this one, JT?
No, that's right, JT.
I love. Look, it targeted the floor, came through, whipped it, came back, it closed back in above inside the range. That means it was going to take the whole range back.
Joseph, can you show exactly where you're talking about the consolidation, where you were just referring to?
Like this consolidation right here. This is some consolidation. This is a smaller time frame. Let me go to a higher time frame. This consolidation right here. And you continue. Only reason you got that massive wick is just because of liquidity. They wanted to, like Sebastian said, let more people in the market to participate before it continued to do what it was going to do. So that's a consolidation, and this is a 1 hour chart. So it consolidated from 3 p.m. to 10 a.m. Let's see if I can find. This is a consolidation. It's not a major one, but it's still a consolidation. It's in this range right here, and the gap down. When you got consecutive candles that start to form a tight range, that's consolidation. These is hourly candles, so this whole time,
Hey,
that's
Mr.
all.
Joseph, can you go back to the right where you can see us going up? Like, the sell-offs are always very smooth and easy, right? But when we're going up, we do this cool thing where we go up, consolidate, pull back, pop up even higher. And everywhere you see his little dots right here is exactly where that's happening. We're going up, we consolidate, we pull back a little bit, go higher. Go up,
Mhm.
consolidate. All of this is consolidation that he's talking about. But notice how we always, when we're going up, we follow this pattern. We go up, consolidate, have a pullback a little bit, go way higher. Go up, consolidate, have a pullback a little bit, go higher. And it's like stairs, but
Yeah,
it's
it's like
always,
conserving energy too.
yeah,
Like
it's
it's not
always
going.
letting people in too. That's what I noticed early on. Like when it's going down, it's very smooth, very fast. When it's going up, it'll follow this pattern right here. Start looking for that pattern.
Yeah, because it really is like it's always still stepping up. Miss Iola be saying that we take the stairs up and the escalators down. This joint is just literally going from here, and then it's just going over, and it's going up. It's just going up with these consolidation areas that just leading to pushes. Consolidate, push, consolidate, push. Not every push gonna be the same, but overall it's still gonna go up. And like you said, with bearish action, you either in or you missed it. That's just how it is because it happens so fast.
It's so great though. It's so great. Like right
Yep.
there, that's a perfect example of it. Notice how they're tumbling down the stairs. You can't slow that down at all. That's a beautiful after hour push down.
Yeah.
Hey, Sebastian,
How you doing,
where's
sir?
where's your 4 hour supply on the ES?
My 4-hour supply on ES.
At 5563 38, you in that area as well?
Give me 1 second. I gotta refresh my screen. The screen's huge. Yeah. I've got one at 55.68 flat.
Yeah.
And then at 55, 57.50 is where we're currently sitting.
Right. So that's what we can watch for a trick tomorrow,
Yeah.
Friday.
We wicked out on SPY, the actual SPY for options players. If you guys didn't notice, right at the end, we wicked out 555.36.
Yep.
That's a super important area. We break that, this thing has more room to run. But right now they're showing that they don't want to go down. They're holding this level. I've held a trade for over an hour. I just quit. From 6 o'clock to now, I was holding a trade. I just closed that trade out. Nothing happened that entire trade. I got a little profit and I just said, forget it.
Yeah.
Straight sideways.
Yeah. Ooh, we'll be sideways. That's why I had text earlier. I'm in some puts.
Yeah.
I think it's a good area. But like I put on there and I was telling Chris, if they break the 555.50, I'm out.
Oh, it's on. It's on.
I'm out of my puts and then I'm looking to go long. But if they don't break that, that's going to be a good drop. I'm just letting people know. If we can't break that, they're going to pull back. It'll be a nice drop. And I think we talked about that going back to 549. We're talking SPY.
Yep.
Right.
All my analysis came straight off the 4-hour. They did exactly what they did from Friday. They just went a little higher this time. They didn't go all the way down to the floor.
Yep.
That was like straight for hedge funds. What happened Friday afternoon was straight for hedge funds. They didn't let anybody into that play.
They didn't. And that's what I was telling the market makers greedy right now. They got FOMO. That's why we pushed up. Because I said this move they did today, that's a huge move that we did today. And if you look at the ES, that was almost 100-point move from the bottom to the top.
Mr. Joseph, can you show them 8:30 in the morning today and what happened? 8:30 in the morning showed us what was going to happen at the open of the market today, and it was absolutely beautiful. I was in the 8:30. I was in the play at 8:29 and 57 seconds, and I was absolutely terrified. I just closed out in a loss, and it fell the direction that I was holding because I was holding a put or a sell if you're in futures, right? And it fell so hard that I was mad that I had closed out literally 2 seconds before because I was already in that direction, but it pushed up just a little bit. And I was like, forget it. I'll just take the $100 loss because we're about to hit 830. 830 hit and it fell $40 in a second.
Yep.
I was so mad. I closed. You're talking about a $3,000 trade off 2 contracts. I've never been so mad I closed a trade in my life. Look at that thing.
Look at this. NQ.
Look at that. That's what I'm talking about. That happened on every single stock this morning for futures. I was sitting in a trade until 2 seconds before that happened.
Look at my charting. I had this before this happened. I had this bearish order block here. It hit it perfectly.
Dude, I was in that. But that showed us what was going to happen to the market today.
I took this
and as
trade
soon as
right
the market
here.
opened, we fell.
I took this trade right here. When it came back and wicked this into this fair value gap, I said, all right, I'm about to get at least 20 bucks. I made 10K right here.
Yeah, I caught like that one push back too, and that's how I got a few grand from me. But I was in the trade to the downside when that happened. But the problem with Wednesdays is, guys, is if the news goes against you, that exact same move would have went against me. So I had to close and I had to take like $100 loss. But then I entered in like a few seconds later after it started, like he said, to the fair value gap. As it pulled back up, I got into the trade. But that showed us what the market was going to do today. After that, we fell. We fell all the way down to the low, and then we went right back up and surpassed the level that we went to.
And some.
Yeah.
1 minute candle right here.
Yep. If you guys look at 10 o'clock, that was literally 8:30 in the morning, told us what was going to happen. And then everything after that was just following what 8:30 showed us. Okay, cool. We had that massive push down. The market fell to the low. And then at about 10 o'clock, 10:30, 11 o'clock, we got an equal low. And you guys know the rule of thumb for me, equal lows, let's go. Looking at 11 o'clock on the 1 hour time frame real quick. You don't get a better double bottom than this. You don't get a better opportunity to take a massive trade than this. 11 a.m. Look at that. On the 1 hour. Yeah, right there. Look at that. 11 to 12. That's amazing. Never came back.
Equal lows.
And like I'm saying, tomorrow, I just tell people if you're in trades, be careful because we at a critical point. And that's I'm saying for me, that's why I did some puts because I'm in a good area to do puts or get out. Because what they're doing and what I see tomorrow is core PPI. We got core PPI 8:30. Plus we got we got PPI also and unemployment claims. those are huge catalysts. So what they did, and this is my thesis, they let people in the market. And if you got in too late, they have an opportunity to take your money right now, because they can turn around and just dump. You see what I'm saying? So it makes sense for them to let people in right now, because they may know something we don't know. And it's 3 major catalysts that's coming out at 8:30 in the morning. So we can find out in the morning that the whole market's dumped. And if you're holding, it's just, you got to be cautious and make sure that you're looking at what catalysts are coming up if you're swinging.
Keep an eye on Mr. Joseph's red line right there. That is the level that we would dump to. And that's the new support. It was resistance before. We were struggling to get through the resistance. We fell all the way down. Now that we broke that, that's support for us. So that's our new current demand zone. I don't believe that it'll fall all the way back down to where it was today, just because we have been sitting in this level for that long anyway. We've been waiting to push back up.
When we broke that 549, we jumped up into a new channel.
Yeah, you heard me all day long. I said my baby's been trying to go to 550. When she hits 550, it's on and popping. She hit 550 and took off.
Yeah, so
I wasn't expecting 553. I was expecting like 551, 552. When we hit 553, I said, oh, we're going for the high.
Yeah, and that's why I told Chris. Chris said he was in some puts, and I was like, they might try to go to 553, bro. You know, so which they did, and they shot 555. So, but good trading, and it's good for people to understand this market right now. The month of September is a tough month, and I'm saying, tough on folks who know how to trade, but swing trading, I say put that on the side. You got to do inter-trading right now. Intraday trading is what gets you paid. You try to swing, you might wake up in the morning with your heart crushed.
Oh yeah. I don't buy the massive push up because September is traditionally a poor month, but I'll ride whatever the wave is for the current day.
So anybody got any plays they looking at? JT, what you looking at?
Yeah, JT, I'm gonna get this back to you, because I was trying to see, but we done sparked up an interesting conversation. So, but yeah, what I was gonna say, JT, the last thing was, you see, I'll point out, anytime it come back inside the range, regardless if it's bullish or bearish, it's gonna take that whole range back. I forgot what the other one was at because I was showing what Sebastian was talking about, but yeah, anytime it comes back into the range, it's taking the range, and if it stays below the negative 27, and the other one, it's going to keep going in that direction that it's going. Yeah, I forgot what the other one was at.
Yeah, that's dope though. Like that feel best the truth.
Yeah, I've been sleep incorporating it in, even with my real trading now.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, I've been having it on my real trade, like on my live accounts and all that.
Okay.
Because I'm not doing nothing much different than what I'm already doing. I'm just throwing this fib up on the range. Like, I'm gonna have my supply and demand fib, and then I'm gonna just throw this up there to see, okay, if we doing this, what we targeting. Does it even work when I'm scalping on a 1 minute range? Like, I could find somewhere and show you, like this range right here. I guarantee you these is gonna be leveled. If I take this low, this high.
That's that in shape I'll be talking about too.
Today it did a stupid Nike check.
When that in shape happens, we're gonna go higher almost every time, or lower depending on which way we're facing.
Take that low to this high. Look what it did.
Came back
and then
right there.
Boom! It wicked up and right back to the ceiling and turned it into a floor. And then this was the indication that it was gonna go higher. It didn't get right back to it. So the buyers came in earlier and then let it even come back to the floor. It made a new floor. It continued. It never came back in the range, so it was going to continue rallying.
And if you
this is the 1 minute.
Wait on that, like you in a game.
This is the 1 minute.
Check your 50% line, right? Look at the 50%. You see that little N shape right there? When that happens, the market's running. That up and then all the way back down, then all the way back up. But when that happens, we're taking off. We'll come back down and check it one more time to let people in. You're right there at 50%. Look at that.
And then look, a lot of people not able to do this when it's happening. It can come with time with knowing what's happening when it's happening. But when the 50% was being created, this range is being created, it already was testing the 50% right here.
Yep.
And you could have entered low key.
Yep.
Oh yeah, that's the best spot. Well, you had a little support area right there too, right next to where you just put your line. Yep, right there.
Yeah.
You had a
And
little
then
support for him.
also you got a previous ceiling right here, but you also got a fair value gap right there. And then look, fair
Yeah.
value gap, use the top of the fair value gap as support. Like,
And they got in your discount of the fair value too.
Ooh, but
yep.
look how that bad boy ran. That's crazy.
So like I said, any time frame, it probably wicked here because this was 11. This is our support.
I love when the market falls like that. That's so dope.
Yeah, that's what the guy was explaining. What was the gentleman name on the talk? Chris How to Trade. The other name. What was his
Mr.
name?
Batts.
Yeah, well, Mr. Batts. That's what he was talking about. And that's one of the moves I moved. Bottom of the V, like you're doing, then trade the right side of the V. So anytime you get a hard drop like that, just you're looking for them, especially like today and like you got right there on that around that 12 o'clock, that V pattern, that you always want to look and you're looking for that wick on the bottom. I always go to the 15-minute chart to see if it's a major support area, if it's a support area. And if I get that wick and I'm looking at a 15-minute hammer candle on that, then it's going to do just like you're saying, Joseph. It's going to bounce. Yeah. It's going to take all that area back. Then we're looking for break of structure because then I'm playing it to that top. If we get there and reject, I'm out. But if we break that, then the move's going to continue. It's continuation.
So I have a question for you, Mr. James. Do you play the wick or do you wait for the confirmation?
I play on the 15-minute. If I got a 15-minute hammer candle in a major area, I'm playing that.
Okay, so I'm in the 1 minute, so I play the wick majority of the time too, but I play it off of the 4-hour setup.
Yeah, you have major areas, but when I'm scalping like Joseph, I'm looking at the 15, and if I get a wick on that drop, then I'm going to my 1 minute for my entry, if that makes sense. So I'm all
actually tried that today. I tried scalping off the 15 today. It's a little bit more space than I normally like, but it worked. It still made me like 2K actually. Scalping off the 15-minute.
And that comes in time. You know what I'm saying? So
look, JT, you got 3 different ranges on the 1 minute, and they all hit. Like this one was spot on. Like it created a damn ceiling at this one.
Definitely spot on.
Like, but either you got a rejection, that's a wick. If you look at the 2-minute chart right there, that's a wick because it went up and came right back down. I don't want to lose that spot.
Yeah, consolidated, then it broke. Yep.
Yeah, that's a wick. It came right back. It's just you can use it on all time frames, and it gives you a good idea where prices either gonna get hung up at, or where you can be like, okay, I'm gonna put my take profit. I'm gonna target this right here. You can just go to random spots. You get a high and a low.
And it's something too. I don't know if you guys look at that. I was always taught a long time ago. You see those double wicks at the top. Anytime you get a double wick at the top, like what you're looking at right there, yeah, it's gonna push. And if you go back and just start looking at things, a double wick at the top, you're gonna get a bigger push down. We just call them spaghetti sticks.
Highs.
Yeah, we call them spaghetti sticks. So all the guys say, look for spaghetti sticks. So when you see it, you get a bigger move.
Yeah,
that
takes you for a ride.
When you get a 3, I know some of you guys know it. Look at the 1, 2, 3s. When you get a three bar, they take it out both sides.
Yeah,
we had a 3. We had a 3 today actually.
Yeah, today was awesome. Even if you would have got in, like we was talking about earlier, if you didn't get that hold of last week's low, that 540-ish level, even when it got back above yesterday's low, that could have been a decent entry to play back to yesterday's high or other targets that you had. If you wanted some extra confirmation or missed the first bounce, the start of the bounce or whatever the case is, it was a couple different entries that you definitely could have got today. Going back to the side.
really cool about the upside play today. When we had a break in a candle in like the 15-minute and the 5-minute, there wasn't a sharp pullback like there normally is. It was literally like a stop, give you some time to get in, and then a continuation.
Yeah. Today was it was trending today.
Oh
So
yeah,
once it
beautifully.
started, it never pulled back too much, And I use a cloud, so it stayed above the green cloud. And it was like just kept going to the moon.
Yeah, it was an awesome day. And you really can like use the even on a daily chart or whatever. I look at 2 day, 3 day, whatever the case may be. You could just use those highs, like when they started going back up, the highs from different days, like as targets too. Like if you just go look, like you can use your first target could have been what's today? Thursday? Tuesday's high. Then you could have obviously went to yesterday's high. Then your next target could have been the high of the six, which was that last week, what, Friday? And then you could have went to the next candle before that. Like you can use those as targets too, for those that I know some people talk about struggling with finding support and resistance. That can be like something to help you out just to see how it reacts. Just go back and look at like the highs of different candles. Like once it bounced today, go on the daily chart and just look how it reacted to those different highs from the past, the few, what, I like since last week, sometime middle of last week, as targets.
Yeah.
Oh, my chart's so ugly. Like even like I be going in each week, and I got previous week high, low, open, and close.
Mm-hmm.
The price is always gonna do something at those levels.
Yeah.
Like
Exactly. And
always be having to do. And
shoot.
it just depends when you got like JT said them inside weeks or a couple inside days within the new week. Oh my goodness, them levels is just like Chris said, Venus and Serena, you gonna seeing prices bouncing and get smacked off those levels.
Right. Ready for that. Ready
Yeah,
for that. But
if
yeah,
you do struggle with support and resistance, the easiest way to do it is to just put a couple days on your screen, right? And what you're looking for is all of the areas where it seemed like it struggled to pop above before. And then that'll be your resistance, right? When we finally break above it, that'll be your support. And you can just go back over a couple of days. And usually we'll sit the actual trading days will break right down the middle. You'll see a halfway line, and that'll be your support and your resistance. And you can just go from the main lines. You don't have to have a support and resistance at every single time frame. Just have a top layer, which will be like a temporary demand zone and supply zone for you, and use that as your support and resistance. Like right here, we had one right there where we kept trying to break through that certain area right there on that above the V. You saw that consolidation. Above it is it becomes a support line once you get above it now. And I just keep it simple like that. Where we came from was the support. When we got to the top of the resistance, it became the support. Real simple way to keep it as easy as possible so that you don't always have to chart out every single 5-15 minute day. You put it on there for like a week, it'll pretty much hold. We hold ranges for the most part. We don't always like have $10-15 moves every day.
Yeah.
no, we
I
don't.
know in SPY, but on NQ, boy, that's the only thing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
You know we get
spot.
down.
Yeah, I was surprised that spot today. It was. And then yeah, just to piggyback off that too, what he was saying, Sebastian. Like I always tell you guys, like even when you're trying to draw the support and resistance, like clear your chart out, go on blank charts and start, from your weekly or whatever the case may be. Just have your candlesticks and like he said, just see what touches, what struggle, and kind of go through different charts and just see what you identify that. And as you do it more and more, you'll start having an eye for it, even with your EMAs on and stuff like that. But that's what helped me out too. Just having a blank chart like how Joseph's is, just candlesticks and going through time frames, different tickers, and just seeing, like he said, where it struggled, where it, rejected, where it broke through, retested as support, so forth and so on.
Yeah, but how most of the people start when they start their week? How are they charting? Are they charting the week and then just coming into smaller time frames? Like say, you chart the previous week, like Joseph said, he's going to show the weekly high and the weekly low from the previous week. That's where I
All
do.
my, I'm gonna put out like this. Even though I play on the lower time frame, all my points of interest come from higher time frame. Like
Mhm.
They
this
help
is a
too.
1 hour range equilibrium. I might have a 4 hour range. It just depends on what price doing. I can't say I will have this because price is different every day. Um, what I'm saying? These are 4 hour and 1 hour order blocks that I knew price was gonna get here or get here and do something. and I'm aware of how things can play out one way or they can play out inverted. So if it start playing out with the expectation of what you think it should do, if it get to a bearish point of interest and it's not giving you bearish price action, there's a potential that it can play out inverted. Like a lot of these fair value gaps are so big on my chart because they come from a higher time frame. Like so when I see them or get back to them, there it go. When I get back to them, see that's a 4 hour fair value gap. Like I'm just waiting to see what price gonna do when they get here. This order block is from an hour. This bearish order block come from a 1 hour. It whipped it out, shot back up. Like so, you understand why price is doing what it's doing when they get to certain places. And if it's a lot of liquidity in that area, you're gonna get a massive reaction.
And I'll
Massive reaction.
give you another tip, right? For my thinker swimmers or my wee bullers. When you go into your screens or whatever on your 4 hours, right click and you have a $ thing, use that $ and you can actually put those, you can make it like perforated so that it looks like it's little dots or lines like his. Put that at the top of like the 4 hour consolidation, right? The top of the consolidation and the bottom of the consolidation. And then you can extend it all the way to the right and all the way to the left, and it'll just follow your chart the entire time you trade. And so when you hit those key levels, you'll always have them on your chart. You don't have to have a bunch of lines and boxes and stuff either. I use those a lot. You don't have to have a ton of them, just like main areas where you see consolidation. Usually if you put it at the top of the consolidation in the 4 hour and the bottom of the consolidation in the 4 hour, that'll give you a range. And then each
And
range for each of those 4 hour
just
ranges.
going off of damn, I want to clear my chart for y'all guys, but it's gonna take everything away. But
Put on M and Q. Go to the
but
smaller version.
it's not gonna have this. So what we were just talking about with the previous week, this is previous week high low open and close. Look at what happened when this week came to this level.
Yep.
Like it might not get all 4 levels, but whenever it interact with one of those previous week level, it's valid because it's been the level for the week.
Yep. And you can check it right there. That's a perfect example of how you can draw out your supply, your support and resistance. On his left-hand side by the 50%, you see that there's some consolidation right there by that big black candle, right? At the bottom of that big black candle, what is there? More consolidation. Guess what? We start the next week. We start the next week at the bottom of that consolidation. We climb our way up to where? The bottom of the consolidation from the previous candle. And then that's
He
just
got
once
hung
you
up
have
at
that
the
line on there.
50%.
Exactly. Once
He
you
got
put that
hung
line
up
on
at the
there,
50.
it's there forever. It happens all the time.
Yep. And then like your major levels, like you guys are saying, like the weekly high and the weekly low, that's a major indication. So say if we had pulled back and we broke that weekly low, that's a major area. It's gonna drop.
It's gonna go lower.
Look at that wick.
In the same way,
Look
when
at-
you get to the
look.
weekly high, now you gotta be thinking, if we break that, am I gonna jump in right away? No, that could be a bull trap. So let them break, pull back, then you get into the trade. So that's how I use those weekly levels. And like Joseph is saying, they're there. And those are major areas, because if we pulled all the way back there, like he's showing there, that's where the market took off and shot up. So that would have been a prime opportunity if you had that marked to get in the trade. You're not in the middle, you're not at the top, you're at the bottom, and that's where you get in.
From this low to this high, price done interacted with the 50% 3 times. And you don't need to have major plays. This is a 2 hour time frame. So it came below the 50%, went up, came back to the 50%, went up, came way below the 50%.
Shot to the moon.
When you see that giant wick like that, right, and it doesn't touch your next zone, don't get into it to the upside at first. Wait for it to come back into a previous zone and then take it. That way you're at the floor of that zone. Because that wick is just like it's a liquidity grab. They're snatching some contracts and violate some stops, right? Once it came back up in there, look at that beautiful equal low on the 1 hour time frame.
See those chopsticks on the bottom? It works the same way on the top. So anytime I see those double wicks at a major area, boom, I'm in the trade. I'm swinging it. Especially if we coming off the bottom. It makes sense to swing it. Now your risk to reward is greater, because if it reverses on you, get out of the trade. But if it keeps going to the moon, that's how you make your money, if that makes sense.
And left all of this liquidity behind.
But you guys, you'll always see people, you always see them wick out like that because because most people set their stop losses right below the line there of the previous lows, right?
Exactly.
So they wick out to take to take those stops out. And that's what we call it stop hunting, but it's a liquidity grab from them. They know that stops are going to be placed there because it's common sense. So they wick it out. And as soon as I come back up into that zone, I take my trade. The second I cross that black line on the bottom of those two chopstick wicks he's talking about, I'm going to the up with it, and then it'll go so fast. If you saw that 2-hour wick, it moves so fast, you have to get in right there. Otherwise, you've missed the
And
play.
also the same way he said that it wicking for these smart money, when they wick out these stop losses, they have limit orders that's putting them in going
Ready to
this way.
go.
Yep.
That's why it's so fast, because as soon as it hits their point, it takes off the other direction.
And as soon as they stop you out, they bought them contracts and taking them in the direction.